Hi, this is Muhammad. Today I'm going to increase the size of a virtual machine's data disk, and for that reason, we have some steps to follow. In shortly, we need to detach the data disk from the virtual machine, and using disk services, we need to increase the size of this data disk. And then we need to attach the data disk again on the virtual machine. So let's get started. At first, we need to log in our portal. So that is portal.azure.com. When we log in, we can see we need some resources for this demonstration. We need one resource group, one virtual network, one virtual machine, and one data disk attached with that virtual machine. On the dashboard, we can see the resources. For this demo, we need to use this Azure RG. It means Resource Group 17 April 2023. Another virtual network, Azure VNet 17 April 2023. A virtual machine named Azure Win11 Virtual Machine 17 April 2023, and the data disk named Azure Win11 Virtual Machine 17 April Data Disk 1. So, initially we need to see the dashboard of the virtual machine. So, we click on the virtual machine's name and arrive on the dashboard of the virtual machine. We can see from the left panel there is item named disk. When you click on there, you can see the data disk which is named Azure Win11 Virtual Machine 17 April 2023 data disk 1, and storage type is SSD, and its size is 128 gigabyte, and it's attached with this virtual machine. So we can go back to its virtual machine's overview, copy the public IP address, and check it on remotely connected virtual machines on actual data center. So just go into the remote connection options, paste this public IP, and then connect it. It will ask for password. I give the password. Asking for the certificate. I accept that one. And now it's connecting with the virtual machine on the data center. For simplicity, you can see under disk management, there are a couple of disks included. This is the disk 0, that is OS disk. This disk 1, that is temporary storage disk used by Azure, and we shouldn't back up any data here. And the number 2 disk is 127.98 gigabyte, that is our data disk, and which is unallocated at the moment. So you know that we have a data disk here. So we can even do the give it a volume or format it, just following the couple of steps. Just make it ready for use and then finish. Now it's formatting and it's healthy and ready to use. So I leave as it is and disconnect this one, and we come back again when we increase the size of this data disk to make sure it's really increased on other end. So the next step is to back to the portal and Uh, Go back to the virtual machine, and detach the data disk from the virtual machine. I can go to the inside the virtual machine and go to the disks and just select the disk. Not really selecting, we just one step behind. When you get the disk name, there is option host caching and there is a cross on the right side of there. That is detaching. You detach that one and then save. And this disk has been detached from this virtual machine. Now, after detaching, we need to use one service for this purpose. And this service is named disks, disks service. When we go there, we can see all the disks which is included in our subscription. It doesn't matter what type of virtual machine was attached with it or detached with that. So we find our disk, that one, and we go inside the disk and then we should choose the size and performance. Our current size is 128 gigabyte. We just maybe need to increase it like 512 gigabyte and then save. When it's done, we go back to the home of the portal, go back to the virtual machine. Right now, you can see on disk panel, there is no disk attached with this one. We need to attach an existing disk and find this disk, which is named data disk 1, and then save it. When we save it, we can see the size of the disk is 512 gigabyte. It was 128 gigabyte before. If we go back to our disk services once again from the portal, see this disk is now 512 gigabyte with the resource group Azure RG17 April. So it's connected. And then now we go home and get connected with the remote connection once again. I give the password. Yes, this is Windows 11. So find the disk management. It will show up the disks which is attached with this virtual machine. You can see the disk volume, which was 128 gigabyte before, and now it becomes 512 gigabyte. And we intentionally format 120 gigabyte disks before. The rest of the space, which is extra, allocated with this disk, that is 384 gigabyte, is also shown here, but it's not allocated. So for the working purpose, we can allocate this one, or we can extend this one with the same disk, like extend volume and create and extend it and finish. Now the disk is fully ready to go for data saving purposes. So that's the very simple way. So I disconnect this connection, and that's it for today. Thanks for